This is day 626 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. This week's Arukh HaShulchan Yomi is being sponsored for the schools for Refuah Shlema for Yonas and Ezra ben Chana Feigel. They have Refuah Shlema quickly. We would like to sponsor upcoming shir of the Arukh HaShulchan or more. Please kind of be directed. We greatly appreciate it. Today we're doing Siman Shin Samach A, Seif Yud Aleph, so Seif Yud Zayin. Yud Aleph. Mavish nifratz l'rachba, l'rachava. Mavish would just open up into rachava, which is the yard behind the house. Rachava, yachrei chatzer, the rachava is behind the yard. Yimar rachava b'chusim yisosayim, if the rachava is less than two saw, the yasman yisosayim even more. Vukva l'dira, but it is mukaf l'dira. Moshe Kosai is Bible Simon Chas parameters which have been described earlier. Harei kachatzer like kachatzer, then it stands like kachatzer. Killing first kachatzer, and as is the mother which is open to that rachava, it's the same size as the mother which is open to a kachatzer. Alimi is say a base assignment for more than a base assignment. Below kvoldir, and was not enclosed for the purpose of habitation. Pshita it's arish rachava oseres amavi. The being open to the mavi asks the mavi. Killing nifratz the karmelis. It's if it's open to a karmelis, no difference. If the Mavi doesn't have remnants of walls to serve as a lechi, or the breach is more than 10, Asurim Metalta by Mavi now allowed to carry in the Mavi, Achi Takna until you fix the breach. You base one Yeshma said, but Mavi Pasuk Lachava. One is a story about such a case, Shalom Kvaladira, where the was open, the Mavi was breached into a Rachava which was not enclosed to the purpose of habitation. Rachava and the Rachava itself is open to a pathway of vineyards, in which nobody lived. But the people of the Mavi, they would use that pathway. The Rachava had remnants of walls. In that case, the shvil will not forbid the rachava. Bashil shel akramim might forbid the Mavi seems to remain forbidden. Bashil akramim lecha atzfas hanor. The path of the vineyards went to the bank of a river, Shagawasa, which is 10 fucking high. Mechitza, so that's a wall. But Tziva Rav Lamid Lechi ben Pesach HaMavi Pesach Rachava Matish Leim. Rava said make a lechi between the opening of the Mavli and the opening of the Rachava, and allow both of them. The Rachava is not Mukav L'Dira, so why should this allow it? He says it helps for the Mavli, and it makes the Mavli closed off from the Rachava. It also makes Haila Rachava it works with the Rachava to make it as if it is enclosed to the purpose of habitation. The Tazim Mavli Rachava you can carry from the Mavli into the Rachava. But on the pathway still Asatalta. You cannot carry. They also Rachava but it doesn't have to Rachava because it has those remnants of walls. So why don't you put a lechi between the path and the Rachava? Because this shvil has the status of the mavui. That should make it permitted, right? So maybe you can allow the shvil by putting a lechi between it and the rachava. Because we make it clear, lest you country to attempt to be matir another shvil which the name of it are not using. The Omru Gakin Shil Lechi Matir, they'll say a lechi will permit it as well. B'shvil b'alma elechim on a normal shvil, which doesn't have the status of a mavli, a lechi is insufficient. Okay, it's a very rare case, but it is a case of Gemara. You give a mutish tamish tachas achor connected a lechi. You're allowed to use in the airspace which is under the beam and opposite the post. Shafei Lamod is also considered part of the mavi, the outer edge of lechi or the korah is what closes off the mavi. By makes mavi personal shusarabim. That's only the mavi is open to shusarabim. A personal karmelis, if it's open to a karmelis, also they are not allowed to use under the width of the lechi or of the korah. Why? Bavgav shusarabim chamir tuvam karmelis should be more lenient in that case. It would seem because the shusarabim should be more severe an issue than a karmelis, and here we see it's less of an issue. Kom nevertheless the karmelis arena matzah minas mina v'nir. When it's open, when this lechi, the under lechi on the corner is open into a karmelis, we say it's too similar to a karmelis to be permitted. It's called the matzah minas mina v'nir. It's the two similar types find each other, they combine, and they are aroused to the point that where we got the machmir, and looking under the lechi as if it's already outside the mavi, opposite the lechi as if it's outside the mavi, under the kor as if it's opposite under the mavi, as if it's outside the mavi. Come on, and he explains. Bein l'chayim tachas hakora, shein b'hem shir karmelis, under the between the chayim and under the kora, they don't have a shir karmelis. It's not 4 tvachim. They karmelis pachas mi'arba. There's no karmelis less than 4 tvachim, which is 7 misim shinei. Nevertheless, motzah a karmelis chutzalo. Now, even though it doesn't have a shir, it combines with the karmelis which is outside of it. And he's chazek ayado, and it's fortified by it. And that's the karmelis, and it too becomes karmelis. But when in front of it, this area under the beam or opposite the post cannot become Rishus Harabim. It's not the same type of Rishus Harabim. That's why included in the Mavli. Even though they can't be connected to Rishus Harabim, they can be connected to Carmelis. Because you don't have masses going under the Korah or opposite the Chayayim. More Carmelis. So it's like a Carmelis. It's a shear, it's just not a shear of a Carmelis. Yesh B'Korah Rochav Arba Tvachim, the Korah is 4 Tvachim wide. I feel Pasach Carmelis, Mutter Talta B'Tachta. Even if it's over 2 Carmelis, let carry underneath it. The meaning Pitikor Yerbasosim, because it's 4 Tvachim, so there we say Pitikor Yerbasosim, the outer edge of this little rooflet is Yerbasosim. It's like it is a complete wall. Less than 4 tvachim. We don't say pitikra. Commotion of Sam Simon Shin Sam Gimel Sifrit Zayin. The Tafka Shibri the Kabel Maziva. It's only if that koira, which is 4, would be sufficient enough to carry a it's the flooring of the next level. In this case, it's the roofing. The roofing. Okay. Rashi so pergagos. I mean, pitikra gam ba'ar baruchos. We also say pitikra tikra. Also, according we can see even in 4 sides. According to Rabbi Yitzchak, I'll say. There's a rush back to the mechitzas coming ganami and pitikra. I'm not sure where this is brought down here, not brought down back in it's been Shin Sam Gimel. But in any event, it's where I had difficulty why I didn't bring it down at some point. Anyway, so it's only the Shnei Mechitzas coming gam. I mean, it could pay tikra only when you have 2 walls like this. Can you say pay tikra on one of the other on one of the other sides? Now with the walls like this, that would become foolish, where it's open wide open. Therefore, roofs and extensions which come out from houses l'rachov to the street, we don't say pitikra on them, even if they're very wide. Those have a siman shin mem vav, because there are only 2 walls opposite each other. Aber befirhois, whatever firhois is, has 3 walls and a roof. Imrak Rachav Arba Tvachim, as long as 4 Tvachim wide. I mean, Tikra, we say Pitikra because you have 3 walls. Maril didn't allow Peter, even in this case. The Davar Tamu, this is astonishing. Why not? In such cases, it's definitely would be permitted. You dollar. Even though you're not allowed to use under the Korah, the person does not sit at the front of the mavli holding an object. Because maybe you roll out into Rishus Harabim, you'll bring it back. It's right at the edge. He doesn't see the hecker of the Korah Lechi, so he will remember that you can't go out and get it. If the mother is to Karmas, we can be lenient because the Chashash, Tony Rabbanah. Anyway, Ava Pesach Chotzer. The opening of a Chotzer Mutter, you're allowed to. Mention Mitzvah Shus Rab, mention Mitzvah Karmas. whether you talk about the Shusarabim or Karmel Sheshbo Hakera. There's more of a hecker because there's either Opas Arba, either a plank of 4 tvachim, or Shnei Pasim, or two rods. Ableshim Tzadach Lavi Hakera, but a lechi which is only on one side, it's not Hakera. I mean, it's just the best leaders about to have a Hakera. So it's the best of the Arukh HaShulchan says is a hecker. Not sure why, because it's not a hecker, it's a whole different ballgame. Muslim Shem Shem, you're allowed to sit there. Yesh Oser Gam said those who forbid also that. And those are also even when it's not open to a Rishus Rabin, but also to a Karmelis, at best, who don't have Rishus Rabin. Which says, where it's the best possible, it's mutter, the same thing because it's called a heker. But the Artu's Pesach, which are very high, it's also because there is no heker. And even if the Mavi is over the Karmelis, there's only Chashash Rabban, it's also usher because it's possible to forget. Excuse me. The women who sit Pesam over the opening of a Moavi Kadem B'Yedem, and they're holding on to their jugs. The Paramarisha Mim Shosala Kane. I don't know why. I guess the women are more likely to be involved near the edge of the Moavi. So first time we tell them, it's also to sit there. But if they're not going to listen, don't tell them again. The Mutab Shu Shogim by Yumazin. Better do Shogi them amazing. People never should turn me again, even saying which is the rise we say this. Kamin number Reish Perak Blau Beit so the end to Sebes Yom Kippur. Even think which is the rise, so as long as it's not beferish in the Torah, we say Mutab Shu Shogim. Koshkim is the Rabbanon, certainly Ben is the Rabbanon. The brackets he says here, Maj Kosem, he says Sivav Mishum David Rabbanon, because the Rabbanon we say Mutab Shogim, Viksham Agribam Sikon your base, Hagamba the rise, okay? Or don't we say also by the Raisa? Shema Lefim Maj Kosem Rabban Ran Sham Magmara. Perchav Gil Shabbos Eno Sabrakin Ayin Sham. I guess the Ran holds up at the right. So we don't say Mutav Shishokin. Then I guess come a Beitza, but the cost of Shon, they're Fush Batel Mina Mutav. That's what I just mentioned. That it's like Davasham Fush Batel, which you don't say Mutav Shishokin. Tespa, Mavi Shidl Krosava Chaya B'Shabbos and Mavi, which lost its Korah Lechi on Shabbos. Abi Shuta Mikta Shabbos, even though it was permitted for the first part of Shabbos, also it's for Mishon Be'elach. It's also from there on in. Below me on Shabbos Ho B'Ucha. Don't say, well, since that Shabbos it was mutter, remains mutter. Don't say there's no situation, the walls has changed. Which happened to Simon Shin Sound base. Velechikor have a mechitza in it. Velechikor is a mechitza in this regard. So too the pasim of a chatzer. Kshenitl b'Shabbos. And the moon Shabbos, Ben Shapur Sur Shusam Ben the Karmas, whether the chatzer or to Shusam to Karmas, same thing. Yeshem, some say the Hanimila Bir Shen Mukefes Chem, it's only in the city which is not surrounded by a wall. Avabir Mukefes Chem and Mukafala Dira, but a city which is surrounded by a wall and enclosure was for the purpose of habitation. Kekagon, Shiash was so fukva, such as when it was settled and surrounded by a wall. Mutter is permissible. Kemchish Mechitos Chitzonis, since they're the outer walls, it's not going to be a change in the walls. Which happened to Shambina Mechletsos, Apusos, like we wrote there in terms of banners, which are with mats, which are hanging from poles. The Yeshus Mochazel Hatir, can line this be matir. Kozak Shuyim Lamod Kol Yom Shabbos, and all this is when they were suitable to stand all of Shabbos before Shabbos began. But some unforetold cause happened. For them to be taken away or to fall. They're not suitable to stand the entire Shabbos. Such as they knew for before Shabbos and non-Jews would come and do construction there and destroy the Lechir Kaira. It's also, even if there were walls around the city, to afterwards. Because it wasn't really mutter Erev Shabbos Mishmash because it was known that it was going to be taken away. The Imish Safi in Niglu Shabbos or Erev Shabbos, if you're not sure in one of these situations where there's outer walls, if they fell on Shabbos or on Erev Shabbos, open Shabbos in mutter, if in a manner which would happen on Shabbos, be permissible. We're lenient. The Sfeika Rabbana Kula, because that's the principle. Sfeika Rabbana Kula. Tezayin Kosa Ben Yosef Siv Ches Mavi Shishtatfu Bom Nishbra Koira. Mavi in which you made a shituf, and the beam got broken. Also Chatzah She'er Munach Bo V'Acher Tzeres Psuchas Lo Mutaros. That chatzah in which the eruv was placed and the chatzeros which are open to it are permitted. But chatzeros on another side, on the other side of the mavi, it's not open that chatzah forbidden. I'm going to show you. Biadvarim means to say nikom le'amavi nichu eruv echad. Well, being mavi participated one eruv. Nichu sabachar chatzeros to put in one of the chatzeros. Came which nishbar kara, and once the beam was broken, but like schabus shaydei amavoy. The connection which was the mavi is nullified. Connection is only through the chatzeros. So the chatzeros which open that chatzer she'er munach bo, in which the erev is placed, only the erev there works for them. But those which are not open that chatzer, but korchach, of course, nipsaku, they are cut off. The erev. We're going to explain them more. So what happens in our city? It's the towns in which they put the erev in shuls. If that mavi, the basic nesses, erev went down, that area, the erev went down. The entire city is forbidden not to carry from house to house, even from room to room. In an apartment, in a place, in like a boarding house, a place where multiple people live. Even though the mavos are properly fixed, because that mavi has been broken. If the government closed that, I guess like it was a condemned building, they closed up that shul. And they sealed it. And there's no way, it's not permitted to open the seal. But the eruv is nullified. The eruv should make an eruv elsewhere. It's interesting because in terms of losses, Arukh HaShulchan said even if the government forbids you to spread the losses, it's still considered losses seriously noel. But here, when it's inside the shul, I mean, it's obviously there are reasons we to be mechalik. But here it says the government sealing the shul makes it off limits and cancels there. Yudzai pasibiros itu chalam eretz yisrael v'zmatz b'shemito shayakayim. The base mission existed, there was a liyah l'regel, so they allowed pasibiros. Kidei tehei mayim mitzuyim l'regolim ashkot b'nim l'seim. So there should be water present for people who are going up to Yerushalayim to water their animals. Mahima pasibiros, what are they? Be'er ha'mei b'Rishus Rabim, we have a well in Rishus Rabim or b'Karmelis. They didn't require them to make around them complete walls. But you put around the well 8 strips. Each strip is an amma long. And he put 2 of these strips in 90 degrees angles at each corner. They're connected to each other. Mizrach v'Daram, east and south. Mizrach v'Tzafon, east and north. Umar v'Daran, west and south. Umar v'Tzafon, west and north. Between each pass you can have up to 13 to 30 amos. If you by other psachim we didn't allow you more than 10. And yet here we allow you kind of 13 to 3rd. It's only because it's only the Rabbanon. Because Pasiviros work in and of themselves, and the gap of 10, a gap more than amos it's not the rice, so the rice need a gap of 16 amos to nullify it. So since it's only 13, since it's 13 to 3rd, that's okay. It's more breach than structure. Have a lachem mishzina works anyway because lachem mishzina. The can have a paratz merubah. Oh no, it says no. It's means like this. Even though there's more breach in structure, and that's how lachem mishzina that it's not good. The kind of a paratz merubah. Here there is paratz merubah. Because we say bali tested, they said explicitly choshi yesh arba mechitzos. Choshi yesh shem arba mechitzos. Where there's a name of 4 walls. Kihacha, like here, a pesach by name, there's opening among them, having the term mechitzos. I mean, the rice is considered to be walls. Now, our time of Dvarim, we're seeing Shinsan, basic of Ayin Shem. We already explained this previously.